Welcome back to another edition of the Witsup Weekly Grind. We've got a few things to talk about, but what is on everyone's lips and at the end of their fingertips was the Oceania version of the Ironman virtual racing. And instead of me sitting here waffling on about the event, I thought that we would invite, for the first time to the Witsup Weekly Grind, the winner of Ironman VR6. Please welcome Teresa Adam.
Hi.
Wait.
Thanks for having me on.
I actually have a little clapping and laughing track that I can add to this video, and I forget every time. I might do it when we say goodbye.
Cool.
How are you doing? How have you pulled up from your big event?
Good. Yeah. A little bit tired, but I had fun. Yeah. Something to do.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to come at you with some hard-hitting questions because we've, to be honest, here at Witsup, we've had a bit of an issue with the Oceania version of Ironman VR, and we're gonna call it as it is. There was a huge disadvantage to the poor Australian triathletes during this race, having to get up. I mean, they may as well not have gone to bed, whereas you guys got to lie in until, I don't know, mid-morning and then jump on your bikes and do a cruisy 40k bike ride. How would you like to respond to these allegations that it was rigged towards the Kiwis?
Right. Well, I guess the thing is, we were always going to have, I don't know, a bit of an advantage, but yeah, being so much later in the day at 6 a.m. we got to start. So I think it was at 4 a.m. for the Aussies.
Yeah. And folks, you heard it here first. Teresa Adam, the winner of this event, has actually admitted that they had an advantage.
Yeah, well, we got to go to bed, so I guess the Aussies had dinner and then started racing.
Yeah, pretty much. I wonder if Ash and Radka just stayed up and were just drinking coffee all night to get started. I'm not too sure.
May as well.
Yeah, exactly. The other thing I wanted to bring up with you, and we will get to the big win, but there's another issue I wanted to bring up, and I believe it wasn't just rigged towards the Kiwis, but there was also, I mean, I don't know, do we say breaking the rules or breaking the law when during the week you brought in 3 fans, and I don't believe that they were at a socially acceptable distance, and then on race day itself you actually brought in a super fan who definitely wasn't 1.5 meters away from you the entire race. How do you respond to that, Teresa Adam?
Well, clearly the 3 fans weren't happy as they left, so, I had to find a replacement.
Oh, far out. And honestly, for those people who are watching now, the reason we're just hammering Teresa right now is because we did a bit of a preview. We wanted to have a bit of a laugh and show that while the athletes are going full tilt on race morning, we want this to be a bit of fun and get people involved, as it is entertainment. So let's take things a little bit more seriously. How was it going flat out for 40Ks indoors?
Yeah, tough. So I haven't actually, I guess I've seen a lot of the other athletes and pros jumping on board the indoor training and racing. I hadn't actually done one yet, so that was my first indoor race. I mean, it could have been the first for others as well, but we decided, so the lockdown and everything happened pretty quickly after Ironman New Zealand, so I already started having a bit of time off after the race, so we sort of extended that and then just built back into base training. So I was pretty nervous about doing this, racing hard indoors, and we hadn't touched any sort of really hard threshold stuff until maybe the week before the race, just to see if I could even do it indoors, and hence the introduction of the super fan. We just found that cooling is pretty key for going hard indoors. Yeah,
absolutely. And then like you said, you've just started introducing a little bit of intensity in your training, and then all of a sudden you've got preems and watt bombs and how much did that make you want to vomit?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I was pretty nervous. The whole ride, you're kind of like, because we've seen the other ones, and you're just sort of waiting for it because you know it's coming, and you know that you're going to have to go like super hard. So you're kind of just holding back and thinking, oh my God, what am I doing? But yeah, it really hurt, and it actually took like several minutes for me to settle back down after, and then keep going.
Yeah, right. So you've and let's include this as another win on the Teresa Adam title list this year. You had the TT New Zealand Championships win, which was that over 20k or 40k?
It was about technically I think it was 19 and a half Ks.
Yeah.
So it was about 26 and a half minutes of effort. Yeah.
And so I want to go back to that. I think there's this little, I don't know, I guess, competition between triathletes and cyclists, right? And a triathlete coming into a cyclist domain and taking the win. How were you received by the cyclist?
They're pretty well, I guess. I've done some racing before, bike racing in previous years and over time, but I definitely think that the sort of people knew who I was coming into it anyway, so they know triathletes are strong, especially over time trialing, it's what we do all the time. So I was definitely had some nice comments from like the defending champion leading into the race, saying that I was going to be up there, so it was cool. They were awesome.
Oh, that's nice. I've always, my cycling buddies have always said to me, this is when I used to be fit and I could ride a bike, but they always wanted me to come and do some road racing and just send me off the front, and they would sit on me, and then I would obviously just completely blow to bits, but they would use me. Yeah. And I was like, oh, thank you, maybe? I think that's a compliment. I'm not too sure. We've got a question from one of our followers here. Pete Comer said, did you find that you use different muscles on the trainer? Are you sorer after the race this weekend than what you normally are?
Yeah, good question. I'd say I'm a little bit more sore out on the road because there's also a lot of like balancing involved. On the trainer, it's quite stationary. So I guess on the road, I get a bit more of a sore back and things because, you've got to fight the wind, or, the road is quite rough in New Zealand. So there's shit. So there's things like that cause you to be a bit more sore. But I guess because I've been indoor training for like 6 weeks now since the lockdown started, I'm used to it. I guess at the start, maybe it was a little bit more sore on the knees and stuff because, again, there's less movement. So it goes the other way. So you're really stuck in that position. So they're different.
Yeah, this is a really good point. And I noticed you were on a road bike, weren't you, on Sunday morning?
Yes. Yeah.
Why the road bike over a TT bike?
Well, I just find personally, I can, ride a bit harder on the road bike indoors. Also, that's my team bike setup. I haven't got the TT bike set up yet, but I just think indoor riding for me and going hard on a road bike is easier. Yeah. You can see the screen better and everything.
Yeah, okay. I have a road bike set up all the time for my indoor training, and it's just because I'm too lazy to change.
Switching.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Because I'm doing all of my riding indoors at the moment, like easy spins, hard rides, and that I just set it up and left it. So you just, it's quite a luxury in a way. I've never done much indoor training before, but being able to just get up and get on the bike without really having to get super dressed up and stuff. Like, I don't know, I've got more lazy mornings and lie-ins, and then, I can ride now. It's like after lunch. Whereas normally I want to get out there and get the ride done before, rush hour traffic and stuff like that. But when you've got the bike just sitting there, you don't have to do too much admin.
It's so true, so true. And how did Monkey Cat go with all the craziness on race day?
He wanted to be here, but he didn't, and he was all excited. And then he could hear, because we had the race, the commentary, and everything going in the background, and he was like, "Who's that?" in my house, because you could hear it. We had it quite loud, but he had a good time. He had fun.
How did you go answering questions when you were racing? Was that tough?
was okay. I think they only asked us a couple of questions. Yeah, most of they just left us to it.
Yeah, right. Do you think, let's take Ironman New Zealand as a great example because you annihilated the course and the bike course. And, I mean, so I come up to you quite a few times during the race and I'm on a motorbike, obviously, in case anyone didn't really realise. But you just always seem so relaxed and comfortable for someone to, and I mean, you smashed it by something like 10 minutes, 15 minutes or something, didn't you, the bike course record? We'll have to double.
No, 15. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. 10, 15, 20 is an annihilation, whatever it is. But you just, I thought it was 15, but I could be wrong. We're going to check that afterwards.
I think it was 4:51-ish.
We'll look it up.
I did 4:36.
Yeah, 15. I'm pretty sure it was 15. I should have done my research. But most of it's up in here, and I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Yeah, someone correct me if I got that wrong. But like I was saying, you always look super relaxed when you're out there. You always give me a tiny bit of chatter when you're on the bike. Not a whole lot, but enough. Like, you've obviously got enough oxygen to be able to have a little chat. What would happen if you were doing Ironman again, real life Ironman? How would you go responding and doing some live interviews during the bike in real life?
Do you mean if that was going to happen?
Yeah.
If that was an option?
Yeah.
So say you came up and you were chatting on the...
Yeah, so I've got the mic. You're doing your 180k bike on the rough roads of New Zealand, and I'm like, hey, Teresa, hey, you've got a 12-minute advantage over the next athlete. How are you feeling? Go.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think you'd probably get one-word answers and some grunts.
And some what?
I guess maybe I have a good poker face, but you are still going pretty hard. You know?
Yeah. Okay.
There is minimal effort for interaction.
Yeah, right. And I guess especially on that second lap as well, when there's so many age groupers out there as well. I mean, I've got lots of photos of you passing age groupers, and you actually have to concentrate a lot.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot going on. Especially this year, there was a lot more going on. The change in format, the live format, which was awesome because a lot of people got to see the race and everything. But I think that by that being kind of new format for, I guess, down here in New Zealand as well, there was a lot going on out there on the roads.
Yeah. Let's keep in mind if, races being moved back and everything. Have you got a bit of an idea of what you're planning for the rest of the year, or is it just week by week, got to see what happens?
Yeah. Because I guess for us, we're the same a little bit as Australia. We're slowly coming out, like we've moved down to level 3, and this week or today we're finding out whether we go to level 2. Ooh. And that means, there is a bit more sport allowed and stuff like that, but that it's all, within New Zealand domestically. And my plan had been a lot of international races this year. In Europe, and obviously Kona was on the card, so it's for me it's quite dependent on what happens in the rest of the world this year, and if and what happens in New Zealand. So if we're not able to travel for the rest of the year, maybe there'll be some racing towards the end of the year in New Zealand. Obviously we're going into winter now. It'll be wet and cold. So it is kind of all up in the air. Yeah, definitely.
I've just got one more question by one of our followers. They've just said, did the VR racing help feed the racing bug at all? Like, did it feel good to have a bit of competition?
Yeah. So when I found out, it was only like maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks before I was going to do it. It definitely, just my motivation to train was a lot higher, and I had to have something to focus on and to think about doing was cool. And I guess I want to do another one, so I really enjoyed it, or do some another online race or something. So hopefully there's some more opportunities to do something like that, because it was fun getting back amongst it.
Nice. Well, what we might do is have a chat to Ironman and see if they can make it a little bit fairer to the Aussies before we put you on a start line again. But thank you so much for joining us. Joining us at the last minute as well. I just shot Teresa a message just a couple of hours ago and said, can you get online? So I really appreciate it. Stay safe, stay healthy, and hopefully we'll see you on the start line, a real start line soon.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Teresa. All right. Just bear with us, folks. Teresa, I'll send you a message later on. I'm going to keep going on with our Witsup Weekly Grind, but thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon.
Cool.
Thanks, mate. So there you have it. The winner, albeit the winner of a very rigged race. If you watch RuPaul's Drag Race, I'm calling rigor mortis, because that is what Alyssa Edwards says when she thought that the results of one of the RuPaul Drag Race competitions were rigged. And so she said rigor mortis, and I'm off on a tangent already, but it's one of my favourite quotes. You should watch RuPaul's Drag Race. It is on Stan here in Australia. It's one of my favourite TV shows because it's hilarious. Okay, Joe Coombe has just tuned. I thought you were swimming, Joe and Pete. Getting quite a lot of feedback about the timing of the event. Still haven't found out exactly why it was at that time, but yeah, it was tough for people in Australia and New Zealand, particularly Australia, to watch that event. But if you did, or if you joined in, congratulations, well done. All right, we're going to move on and see what did you do to celebrate Mother's Day. We had a very chilled day, which was really nice. We just hung out. I went for... Actually, one of the coolest things for me is normally on Mother's Day, I'll be like, all right, let's just lay in bed, not do anything. We don't have to go training. But I actually just wanted to go for a run. So we all walked down to the park, and I did laps of the park and got high fives from Frankie. And then I took Henry on one lap, and it was quite possibly the most perfect way to start the day. And then that was followed by coffee. So we walked to the coffee shop, and then one of my best mates, it was her birthday, so I surprised her with a few things, which leads me to my favourite thing this week, which was what I did for Beck for her birthday. I made a big sign. Oh, I don't even have it here. I had a big sign. We went for a walk, and it said, honk, it's her birthday, and we walked down one of the main streets here in our suburbs and got all these honks. So... it was heaps of fun. We were just being idiots, and all the locals were joining in as well, and we appreciated it. Joe and Pete said they sacked the swim today. No mojo. Oh, it was Joe's birthday on the weekend. Joe Coombe, happy belated birthday. I hope you had a good ISO birthday. It certainly will be a birthday that we won't forget, having a birthday in isolation. Has anybody got a what happens in ISO stays in ISO? Surely the Coombs have got something to say about that. I'm sure they've been up to something over the weekend, particularly with it being Joe's birthday. So just back to the virtual racing. Unfortunately, the time wasn't great for the Aussies or the Kiwis. We joke, but getting up, well, they had to get up about an hour and 15 minutes before the race. So the Kiwis were still up at 4:45 in the morning, which is tough going. But yeah, the Aussies, they were up at 2:45. That was a tough one. Kirsten Walker only done one trial on Zwift. I know so many people do and love it, but it's harder to motivate than riding outdoors in the fresh air. I completely agree with you on that one. But yeah, I'm using Zwift and indoor training as I'm not looking at it, for me, I'm not looking at it as racing. I'm just sort of doing my own thing on there and just, ticking the Ks away and using it as a resource to gather the information, like how far I've ridden, how fast I'm riding, etc., etc. So that's how I'm using it, and trying to catch up with people while I'm on Zwift as well is just a good way to keep that community connected. Oh, there you go. There's two of me. That's because my camera just ran out of batteries. I need to sort that out. Let's go onto that screen. Joe. Oh, and Kirsten also. Who else watched the Meredith and Rinny Mother's Day classic. It was 5 hours of swimming, riding and running. They've both got, I was going to say Master Spas, but that's an actual brand. And I don't know what brand of spas they've got, but it's some form of pool spa that they can swim, like an endless kind of swimming pool thing. And they took part in 5 hours worth of swim, ride, run. So congrats to them. It looked like they had an absolute ball doing that. Unfortunately, we couldn't watch it because that was in the middle of the night for us here in Melbourne. Oh, thank you, Joe. She's just said that they both have Master Spas. I'm just fixing out this other camera because I can't stand the resolution from the computer camera. Oh, it does my head in. Here we go. Let's hope that works again. Okay. Joe said she watched a few minutes of it, but they were swimming, so not much to see. Yep, fair enough. Here we go. Just reading through the comments, and welcome to everyone who is tuning in as well. The other thing I had to tell you, the shop will be launched this week. One thing that you need to keep in mind is that there will be delays in getting your orders to you. So we are using a service that prints on demand, just so that we don't have to hold stock here in Witsup HQ. It's the best way for us to work. So it just means that things will be delayed a little bit, including shipping delays, obviously, globally at the moment. It's just one of those things. Normally it wouldn't take that long to receive your Witsup goodies, but just with the state of play around the world at the moment, just know that there will be a little bit of a delay getting orders to you. So I apologize, but there's nothing I can do about that. The one thing that will probably come to you faster than anything else are caps, because those are what we do have here in stock, just holding stock here. Should I get you the toddler caps? They're pretty cool. I love them, and I do have the cutest toddler in the world to model them. I might go and grab them in just a second. They are the Witsup toddler caps. But if your kid or your brother's kid or your sister's kid or your friend's kid, whoever you tend to be purchasing the caps for, if they have a big head, keep in mind that they probably won't fit any. So Frankie's got a bit of a big noggin, and she's now 20 months old, I think, and it's starting to get quite tight. So I would recommend, if you're going to purchase it for a kid, maybe look at between 6 months to 18 months as the perfect head size. If they've got a smaller head, then up to 2 years is fine. There you go. So these caps will be available. Ooh. These are more for street wear. Don't be racing in these. I mean, you can if you need to keep your head warm, but they're not conducive to racing. I recommend that you use them just for street wear. And the toddler caps will be available on the shop as well. Nadine that's a great idea. We need Witsup bandanas for our doggos, please. I love this. I just dropped my pen. I always have to have something. Who's a fidgeter? Hang on. Beep. I always have a pen in my hand, always something to be tapping away with, which is probably really annoying for everyone else. I apologise, but I feel I'm not great at sitting still. This doesn't surprise any of you out there. But this, can you guys do this one? I can do it that way. Now let's try and get that in focus. I can go like that. But I want to learn how to do it the other way. Who can do it the other way, where it goes around, boop, and then you flip it and it goes back that way? Whoop. I can't do it. I should be practicing. Bandanas for our doggos. I wouldn't even know where to get those made. I will look into it. Or if you can recommend anywhere, let me know. Shopping. Anne has just said yes, yay for shopping. I completely agree. Sorry it's taken a little while. There's just so many little bits and pieces that I need to get fixed. And thank you to Pete Coombe for letting me pick his brain about the online shop and all the different bits and pieces like stupid taxes. And what is going on with your avatar? I love it. I want to try and make that bigger so people can see. Hang on. Oh. Is that you running with a beer in your hand? That is brilliant. I love it. Hayley has just said, my kid has a fat head. Hang on, how old's your... It's probably not going to fit your bigger kid. I need to get hats for, say, from like 2-year-olds to, I don't know, 15-year-olds. Or maybe 10-year-olds. 15-year-olds should be able to wear these hats. But yeah, I need some youth caps so that in between. Anne has just said, yes, it's a runner with a beer bottle, and I love it. Hayley, maybe you have to get one of the Witsup caps for your smaller kids. And here you go. There's a news flash for you all. The toddler caps come in 3 colours. We've got white, we've got black, and there is a pink edition of the Witsup cap. For the first time ever, pink is appearing on the Witsup shop, ever. Witsup apparel would never see pink. I never wanted it to see pink, but it is seeing pink now. And yeah, pink toddler Witsup caps. You're welcome. People ask me for it. Even Frankie, I feel, asked me for it. So we have done it. Kirsten Walker has just said, I really like the lighter hat visor you often wear. The lighter one. Oh, I think I know the one you're talking about. Do you know, that one I really liked, but so I'm really fussy with hats. It hurt my head to wear it. Let's put it that way. So I really like it as well. It looks cool, but it hurt my head, and I don't know, I didn't like the shape of it, and it's one of those hats that's quite a hard hat. So whenever I take my... Oh, see, that actually looks like it's a bit too hard there as well, doesn't it? You can see that. But this one doesn't hurt my head. But yeah, the other one, like, it'd be a massive dent in my head and would give me a headache. So that's why I chose not to use that one. But we will have the beanies available, but they won't be in stock here. So they'll be ordered from overseas. So there will be a little bit of a delay getting the beanies to you. But I freaking love our beanies. They're so good. I use that all the time now. Another thing I love is beanies, and I am madly in love with the Witsup beanie. And Stancil has just said, just to clarify, I don't usually run holding a beer unless it's a beer mile. No judgments here whatsoever, particularly during the current climate. Kirsten has just said, I love pink, do an adult one in pink. I don't know if I can, Anne. I don't know if I can do a pink adult version. Let's see how the toddler one goes. If we have big sales, then I will consider it. Actually, no. Here we go. If down the track we decide to do a pink Witsup cap, we will only be doing it for a charity. So I reckon we should do it as a charity and a one-off thing. Yeah, limited edition. Because pink it's just not my thing. Kirsten said, send it to me. I'll find a head amongst my 6. All right, guys, I gotta go. I have so much to do, including a new video that I'm working on, and it is all about triathlon parents and what you can do with your kids during this time. We've had a little bit of fun. I might give you a sneak preview. Check this out. Let's see if I can do it. Hang on. Let's see if you can see in the background. Oh, can you see that in the background over there? That. What am I pointing at? That there. There we go. That has got something to do with our new video that is coming out hopefully this Wednesday if I can get everything sorted in time. So look out for that. All right, I am well beyond waffling. Leave you guys to it. Look after yourselves. Stay safe. And we will see you this time next week on the Witsup Weekly Grind. Goodbye.